Hello everyone, welcome back to Tali's Kitchen, and today we're going to be learning how to make half cake mandazis. Now these are a different kind of mandazis, a little extra crunch on the outside but really nice and soft on the inside, and these ones turned out absolutely incredible. Now I went a notch higher and decided to flavor this with orange today. So these are orange half cakes, and look at how incredible that looks. I did do the mini size, but you can do a bigger size if you want to. But look at how incredible that looks, and this tastes equally as fantastic. So without any further ado, let's learn how to get this one done. So we're going to start off here by preparing our dough, and here today I'm going to be using 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Next up I'm going to be adding a half a cup of granulated sugar. Up next I'm going to be doing 1.5 tablespoons of baking powder, and then I'm just going to go in with my whisk and mix all my dry ingredients to combine. So next up here I have 1 orange, which I'm just going to grate into my mandazis. So for these types of mandazis, feel free to flavor this with whatever you want. You can do lemon zest, or you can have it plain, or you can add some cardamom powder as well. You can even go ahead and use cinnamon powder if you want. This is homemade half cake, so make it as fantastic or as flavorful as you want to. So next up here I'm just going to go in with my whisk again and mix everything together, and then now we're going to get ready and start adding our dry ingredients. So up next, our wet ingredients, sorry guys. So next up here I'm going to be adding a 1/4 cup of hot oil. It didn't turn out as hot as I'd have wanted it to be. I think I removed it from the heat a little too early, but so it didn't actually fizzle the way I would have expected it to fizzle, but that's still fine. So just go in, mix it first with your spatula, and then after that you can go in with your hands and just try and break down the lumps in there before we start adding in our water. Now on the water front, I'm going to be adding here approximately 1 cup of warm water. This is because I added a cup of warm water into a bowl and warmed it in the microwave, but a little bit of it remained in my cup. That's why I'm saying approximately 1 cup of water. So go ahead and add in your water gradually as you knead through until you get a nice soft dough. So do take your time here. Honestly, preparing this dough does not take a lot of time, so just a little bit of time until you get a nice soft dough like so. This looks already incredible. You can see the little specks of orange in there. It already smells absolutely fantastic. So I'm just going to give it one last knead, and then this is basically good. You can see it's nice and soft. So I'm just going to cover this, and then I'll be back here in about 30 minutes. This is the amount of water that remained after I finished kneading my dough from the 1 cup of water. So it's been about 30 minutes now, and my dough is really nice and soft. I'm just going to go ahead and knead it a little bit more on my counter, and then we're going to prepare to cut this into smaller pieces. So next up here I'm just going to be using my cutter to cut this into 2 equal parts, and then I will roll the first part into a nice small ball, and then I'm going to set this aside, and then we'll start working on the second piece. So next up here I'm going to start rolling out my second piece of dough, and we're going to roll it out to that level of thickness, and then I'm going to start cutting this into smaller pieces. So I'm just going to go in with my cutter and first cut this into stripes, 5 pieces of stripes, and then we're going to go ahead and now cut this into smaller pieces. Now feel free to make your half cakes as big as you'd want them to be. So if you want bigger pieces, just go ahead and cut bigger pieces at this point. once you're done cutting your pieces, just arrange them nicely on your counter, and then basically just repeat the same process for the second piece of dough. So I have my pan here, which is currently on my stove on medium heat, and I'm just going to go ahead and add in my cooking oil, and we're going to wait until this oil is nice and hot before we add in our half cakes. So this is the exact thickness of our half cake here today. Like I said, you can make this as thick or as thin as you want, and you can make them as big or as small as you want as well. So I've just used a toothpick to verify that my oil is nice and hot, and I'm just going to gently place in my half cakes into my oil. You don't want to add too much so that they have enough time to kind of come up and cook fully, and then you're just going to use your spoon to turn them over to the other side softly, because they're still quite a bit soft. But once they form that nice beautiful cover, then you can go in and just turn all of them using your spoon. But at the beginning, just use your spoon to individually turn them to the other side. So at this point they've started to brown already. Now I do prefer a slightly light brown color on whether it's mandazis, whether it's half cakes. I don't love the dark brown color, but if you do want to achieve that nice dark color, then just leave them on the heat for a little more time, but you'd want to basically have this on medium heat so that they can achieve that color. The other thing that I've always mentioned whenever I'm frying anything is whatever you're frying, once you remove them from the oil, they're going to get a slightly darker color, because they continue to cook for a while before the oil that's actually on them comes down to room temperature. So they'll always continue to cook, and they'll always get a slightly darker color. Same to these mandazis, they look this way but they'll get a slightly darker color. So make sure you abide to that rule as you try and achieve that darker color, or if you remove them when they're too dark, then you're going to have a really terrible color on your half cakes. So this looks absolutely fine. Just go ahead and add this on some paper towels so that they can drain out any excess oil. And would you look at how incredible that looks? It already looks really nice and crunchy on the outside. Look at that. Oh, absolutely fantastic. I'm going to cut this so that you can see the inside is still really nice and soft. Look at that. You can see the beautiful specks of oranges in there. Absolutely fantastic. So I really hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I hope you will try it out. Do let me know how it goes in the comment section below. Consider subscribing, liking and sharing the video, and I will see you all next time with another fantastic recipe. For now, bye bye and take care of yourselves.